Raider Nation, what's going on? We're live here on YouTube like we always are on Tuesdays, but guess what? I also go live, and I've been going live on Thursdays over on Local, so if you want even more live content, more content around the Raiders, go ahead and join our community over there at RaidersReport.locals.com. It will be free to watch the show, our live show over on Locals. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. I feel like my stomach is still trying to get over all those burgers I ate with Jonathan Hankins. So this is what I want to do. The amount of people that showed up to that event this weekend at Barcode Burger, and everyone was screaming Raiders the entire time. It was an amazing thing. So we got 260 people right now. If you're watching live on the Raiders Report, spam Raiders down in the comments, and I'm going to give you a shout out here early on today's show. Shout out to Isaac Hernandez, King Corona, Prod Introvert, Edwin Lewis, Vincenzo, Isaac, Juan Hernandez, Andrew Morales, Hustlin' Hooligan, Sergio. We got a super chat coming in from Dre. What up, my man? Untouchable Raider 1960, El Lucho Uno, 26 CJ CSR, Dwayne Alexander, Nicolo Tesla, Danny Sandoval. Major shout out to everyone tuning in bright and early today. Let's go to Dre Scandrick with the first super chat. Well, I guess bright and early on the Raiders Report. The show just started, so it's early in the morning for the Raiders Report. Happy first birthday, Hazel Scandrick. Everyone type HBD. Dre, I'm glad that you sent this in to us. I always like being able to give birthday wishes. I would imagine that somewhere down the road, if I have a kid, I'm just going to be like, if he likes the show, put him up on the show or something cool like that. I mean, shit, I did it with Chuck. So, Dre Scandrick, happy birthday to Hazel. Appreciate that you sent this in. Let's go to Rashissimo, who I actually had the opportunity to meet, and he was busting on my, I was going to say busting my balls, but that'd be a weird thing to say out loud, but I did it anyway. He was busting up on me this weekend. So, had a good time at the Barcode, left pretty drunk. I was hoping to get a few more drinks. However, I had 3 pounds of food in me, so appreciate the beer afterwards. I was taking some fireball shots with Raider Allegiance. It was a really cool experience from top to bottom. If you guys are just joining in, this is what I like to call the build-up. We're going to let the audience build up here, and then we're going to go to a mailbag. We're going to go to some rumors, another mailbag, and then I got a segment around some free agents that I think the Raiders should target. What up, O'Neal Seward? Raiders! What's up, Mitch? I'll tell you, in Las Vegas over the weekend, I'm going to say I ran into 2 or 3 random people who they saw me wearing Raiders gear. I don't think they recognized me because, Jonathan Hankins, he didn't even recognize me, called me Michael. They yelled Raiders at me, and obviously I yelled back, and they just kept on going, and they were raising the roof. I always think it's really cool. So if you see somebody repping a Raiders shirt, Raiders hat, Raiders gear in general, if you don't yell Raiders at them, then shame on you. One of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be looking at 2 big-time players for the Silver and Black. I'm talking about Denzel Perryman, the linebacker, and we're looking at Darren Waller. There's been some more rumors circulating around Perryman potentially getting a contract extension. There's been rumors around Waller for months at this point. Here's my question to all of you. Who gets an extension first? If you believe it's Denzel Perryman, type 52. If you think it's Darren Waller, type 83. Coming up in about 20, maybe 25 minutes from now, I'm going to tell you which one of these players is going to get a contract extension first, and I'm going to let you know if Perriman is even going to get one at all. So if you want to shout out here, Daniel Topchi, I see you, my bro. Let me know who you think gets that extension first, because that's what the Raiders Report is all about. I got Daniel Keenan, Denzel Perryman, David Zahn, Dwayne Alexander, Dick So Solid Dixon, Raider Nation, Trish, Andrew Morales, Lucy King, Mike Montez, Chucky03, CJ CSR. They're all voting for Darren Waller. Right now, when I look at the live poll as well, 90% of the votes at the top of that live poll say 90% for Waller, 10% for Denzel Perryman. Terrell, he's going to go with Waller. Angel, that's a new name. I haven't seen that one around here. Darren Waller. Mark just straight up just typing out Waller. It's fine. Everett, White Goat, 83. Isaac Hernandez, 83. I'm not seeing any more 52s in there. I'll tell you. I will tell you coming up here on today's show which one of these players will be getting a contract extension first. So, we are always trying to improve. I like this Raiders roster. I like it from the offensive side of the football. I like it on the defensive side of the football. I am an honest person. I'm an honest man. I can look at you guys in the eyes and say, this Raiders roster is better than the roster last season. However, you can always improve, and if you believe that you can build a team, whether it be at a certain position or if you can add extra depth, you should go do it. So what is the Raiders' biggest need after OTAs, after minicamp? It is June 14th as it stands right now. What is the Raiders' biggest need? Is it right tackle, type RT? Seeing a lot of RTs down there. What about offensive guard, linebacker, defensive tackle, or cornerback? Because I've talked to some Raiders players over the weekend. From my homework, from the reports that I see, with the injuries out there right now, and I'm going to base my answer off of if the Raiders were to play a game today, right now, I actually believe it would be defensive tackle because you'd be without Jonathan Hankins, you'd be without Bilal Nichols, which means your top two DTs are rookies. I have confidence in Neil Farrell Jr. I have confidence in Matthew Butler. You're hoping that Vernon Butler also can step up. Tyler Lancaster's a name to keep in mind. But I would actually say right now defensive tackle is the position that makes me the most uneasy. I will give shout-outs to the 470 people getting those votes in, but hey, I got to give a shout-out to Daniel Topshe. Daniel, you're still the dude. Every time that you send in a super chat, I think of the Raiders mock draft where I was thinking about just naming it Daniel Topshe's fan-led mock draft because I'm pretty sure every single one of our picks is because of a super chat from you. So Daniel, for me and the Chat Sports team, man, major shout-out. Let's go to Michael. I might just change my YouTube name to Michael because I'm pretty sure whether the Fox News is calling me Mitchell Renz, where the hell's the T? And I got Jonathan Hankins, who was trash-talking me, calling me Michael all day. But that's fine. I was calling him Little Hank all day, so I guess it's a fair trade-off. But my dad is a very prideful person, and I don't know why. He's always big on people getting my name right. You get my wife's name right. That's how my dad is. And he's always like freaking out when people call me Mitchell or Michael. So the fact that Hankins did that, off tangent, I know, we're already off the walls here. Shout out to Daniel and Michael for the $10 super chats. So if you guys want to get your questions, your comments featured here on the Raiders Report, the two ways to do it is to use hashtag Raiders, or you can send in a super chat. This show is going to be a little bit different. So actually the way that we're going to start today's show off is I'm going to do a mailbag. Then I'm going to get into the latest news and rumors circulating around the Raiders. Then I'm going to get into another mailbag. And then we're going to go to Rumble After Hours, where I'm going to tell you some starting caliber players that the Raiders could still go out and sign. So hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. Oh man, another $10 super chat coming in. I'll tell you what. I was feeling a little bit frisky when I came on today's show, and I was like, all right, we got a few different things going on here, and I haven't done a lot of fireball shots. We haven't done a lot of things here. Every time we get to $100 in super chats today, that's going to equal 2 fireball shots. So we are, $60 away from 2 fireball shots. If you guys are ready to party, as far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to get this thing going as well. Speaking of partying, if anybody's looking for free mustache rides, hit up Tyler Jones Live on Twitter. If not, you can always just get in a vote right now. Y for yes, N for no. Should I rock a mustache? And the reason why I'm asking this is we got a lot of awesome people here at Chat Sports. Trace comes walking into the studio the other day. Oh boy, Michael's ready to party. Trace comes walking into the studio the other day, and he's rocking this mustache. And he's like, who else is going to join me? And we're like, did you just go watch Top Gun? He goes, yes, I did. So I was like, all right, I'm going to leave the mustache up to the nation. So if y'all want me to rock a mustache, type those Y for yeses now, or you can type those N's for no. Seeing a lot of yeses from LR Locke, Bradley Hicks, Untouchable Raider. We got Dick So Solid Dixon. Elmer says, sure, I don't really care. Marcos, a lot of Y's. And I'll tell you, this is what I've been doing. I have been chasing this milestone for a long time. And here's going to be my deal to you. If we can get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, where I can look like a creepy porn star over on Rumble. If we get to 2,000 followers, we need 204 more. I will rock a mustache. And the reason why I want you guys to think about this is two reasons. One, I have to go to a wedding this weekend, and when I asked Alex, can I rock a mustache, she said absolutely not. So that's number one reason why I want to do it. Number two, I'm going to be visiting friends in about 2 weeks from now. So whenever I get the mustache, I have to keep it for the entire month of June. So if we get 200 followers over on Rumble, we get to 2,000, I got to rock a mustache the entire month of June. Does that sound good? I think that sounds pretty damn good to me. So if you haven't already, give us a follow over on Rumble, rumble.com/Raiders Report. It's also going to be the only way you get to see the video I put out later today about starting caliber players I want the Raiders to go sign. Let's go to some super chats that have been floating on in here. We got RaiderMan01. Daryl Williams, right tackle, just win, baby. I want the Raiders to go get Daryl Williams. I have wanted the Raiders to get Daryl Williams for a long time. Will he be on the show? I did promise y'all, once we get to $100 in super chats, I would take 2 shots of Fireball. But you know what, Michael? This is a pretty darn good super chat if you ask me. And for every $50 super that we get on today's show, I'm going to rip a shot of Fireball. And we are $10 away from 2 more. So appreciate Michael for being the MVP of today's show. I don't even know the last time I had Fireball on the Raiders board. It's been a minute or two. I'm a little bit worried because I know Zon's in the comments. At least I saw him earlier. Zon, I don't need anything crazy, but if you want to have a drink or two with me, you know I'm always down. So cheers to you, Michael. Ooh, yeah. The Fireball, it hits different. All right, Patrick B. You ready? I mean, hey, guys, I've been waiting to party for quite some time. Like I said, I was hoping, because I'm very prideful in terms of, if you guys buy me a drink, I'm going to buy you a drink. So at the event this weekend, I had a few people asking me some stuff and buying me some shots. But imagine eating 3 pounds of burger and then trying to drink beer and take shots. Believe it or not, it's not the easiest thing that you got to do. So what I owe y'all right now, I owe you guys 3 more shots. So hang on a second. And you know what, Patrick? I am going to do the other 2 after the first mailbag. That's what my boss is telling me right now. So I'll do the other 2 after the first mailbag. I still owe you guys 2 more. Every time we hit $100, we're going to do 2 shots of Fireball. Every time we send in the 50, why not? Let's get this thing going. Raiders. And Patrick, I actually want to answer your question in our mailbag. That way it gets put in our cut on a later date because I like the question so much, and I can go in a little bit more depth. Sound good? So you're going to see it back on screen in just a second. It'll be the first question on the mailbag. So coming up here, live on the Raiders Report, and we have already gotten a little bit wild, and you know what? I'm ready to get wild here. We got the latest Raiders news and rumors. That's going to be coming up in about 15 minutes. We are going to start the show off with a mailbag. If I don't answer your question on the first mailbag, luckily for you, we're going to do another one. And then on Rumble and Rumble only. So head on over there right now. Give us a follow at rumble.com/Raiders Report. I'm going to tell you some starting caliber free agents that I think the Raiders still go out and target. Did I say that right? I don't know. Anyway, coming up here live on the Raiders Report right now, we're going to get into a Raiders mailbag. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and it is mailbag time. Friendly reminder, this was filmed on Tuesday, so if anything crazy happens from now until then, don't get mad at me. Let's go to the first question coming in here, and it's from one of my OGs, Patrick B. You know what, Patrick? I'm going to just take this shot right now. Raiders! Any news on Josh Jacobs? And I've seen a lot about Waller getting an extension. I'm still curious about our wide receiver 3. Any news? In terms of Jacobs, you're going to see a running back by committee, I believe, this season, a little bit more than what I initially anticipated. Then he's still going to be your number 1 guy. He's okay. He's not going to get traded. There's nothing crazy there. He's just going to. This is going to be his last year for the Raiders. A Waller extension, it's going to happen. Stay patient, everyone. It's going to happen. And then curious about our wide receiver 3. Right now, the race is for Demarcus Robinson. He has the lead from what I'm being told over Clelin Cole. But those are your top 2 guys battling it out for the wide receiver 3 spot. Cheers to you, Patrick. For those of you watching live, I owe you one more. Would be dope to get Marcus Peters. You know, I saw my guy, Graphic Raider, talking about this today, and I'm actually going to be doing a show with him, I think on Friday, if my memory serves me correct. Marcus grew up a Raiders fan. The issue is this. Peters, he tore his ACL last season. I still want to see what he looks like after an ACL tear being at that age. Is he a potential option? Sure, but he wanted to make $15 million this season. I'm not even going to pay him over $5 million. So with that being said, there's other free agent corners out there. I would rather give my money to somebody like Jackrabbit, that's his real first name now, Jackrabbit Jenkins, than somebody like Marcus Peters. Yes, Peters was a Raider, but, hey, I want talent. We got OG Bloodstain 5059. Cheers to you, my dog. What about Raider Man 01? Stash Mish. Go for it. Just win, baby. I've done a mustache a few times in my, few years here being the host of the Raiders Report. But I do know this. I look really creepy with it. I just look like a single dad with no kids. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. So if you want the mustache to happen, you have to go follow us over on Rumble. Once we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I can look like a creepy guy who can make videos over on Rumble. This next one's coming in from Don Kedick. Give me a realistic player the Raiders should trade for. Oh, man. A realistic player the Raiders should trade for. I'm going to say, how about Daron Payne? Daron Payne is a player that continues to pop up. He wasn't at minicamp. He left OTAs early. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I've also said before that I believe that defensive tackle is the biggest need for the Raiders right now because of the injuries to Hankins and the injuries to, Bilal Nichols. So for Daron Payne coming out of Alabama, 61 tackles last season. 6 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 15 quarterback hits. If you trade for Daron Payne right now, you pay him $8 million of his contract. It sounds like Washington wants to get rid of him because he's getting into fights with players, at least he was last season. Give up, let's say, a 4th-round pick for Payne. I would personally would do that. I don't know if Washington would, but Daron Payne would be the best defensive tackle that this team has right now. So how about this? I want to know from all of y'all, name a player that the Raiders should trade for right now. Like, I'm talking about right now. Like, if I had the ability to pick up the phone, give Dave Ziegler a call and say, hey, this is the guy Raider Nation wants, make it happen. If I had that type of power, I might abuse it. Not going to lie. But, hey, name a player that the Raiders should trade for. Let's go to the next one. From Raji Gaines. Mitch, my birthday is December 6th. Let's go to the Raider game on December 4th against the Chargers in Vegas. As much as I would love to go to a Raiders game, I've told people this, I will more than likely never go to another Raiders game as long as I live. And it's because I do watch parties. I do these events here when the Raiders play a game. I go live for everyone out there because, let's face it, Raider games, they're expensive. And if I can offer a way that people can experience somewhat of what it's like being at a Raider game, that's what I like to do. I appreciate the invite. However, I am going to have to turn it down. Also, December 6th is the birthday of my ex-girlfriend from high school, so I can't celebrate that. Let's go to LI Raider 312. Who would be your best bang for the buck free agent we could sign? The best bang for my buck free agent that the Raiders could sign right now. See, I'm going to look at it based on need, and I'm also going to base it on the player and how much ability they would be able to give to this team right away. I'm going to go with a little bit of a different answer here. I'm actually going to say Eddie Goldman. So Eddie Goldman's a player that I continue to bring up, defensive tackle for the Bears last season, and took a back seat to Bilal Nichols, took a back seat to Akeem Hicks, but he does have some ability. And if the Raiders were able to go out and get him, you probably get him for like a $2 million contract. And right now, he would be one of your better defensive tackles. So best bang for your buck, I'm actually going to go with Eddie Goldman. Vincenzo Peoples, should the Raiders sign Kevin King? Kevin King's been a popular name brought up in terms of Raiders rumors over the past few weeks because there was an article a few weeks ago about linking certain players to certain teams. Kevin King got mentioned. I think he's an okay corner. However, he did not look good whatsoever last season. He flat out got outplayed by other players on Green Bay. So now he's kind of put in this area for me where I don't know what type of player I'm going to get out of Kevin King. I would rather just go out and get Janoris Jenkins or different type of corner. But Chris Harris Jr. is still out there. I would love to get him. Salty Raider 56, you're next up here on the Raiders Report. Which rookie will be better this season? Is that Neil Farrell? I think you mean Neil Farrell. Yeah, obviously Clelin Ferrell's not a rookie, Mitch. Neil Farrell Jr. or Matthew Butler. So either the defensive tackle out of LSU who the Raiders drafted or Matthew Butler, who the Raiders drafted out of Tennessee. If you're a Tennessee baseball fan, sorry, you're probably the greatest team to never make it to the College World Series. I like Matthew Butler. He probably gives you more ability in getting after the quarterback right now, but I have Neil Farrell Jr. as the better player overall. He's a better run stopper, a bigger body from top to bottom, and just overall the more skilled player as I see it as it stands right now. But you know what? I'd be a bad Raiders Report host if I didn't ask the best damn fans in all of sports, who's going to have the better rookie season? If you think it's the guy from LSU, type 93. What about the dude from Tennessee rocking that clean tie? Please go type 73. We got OG Bloodstain, Diablo breakout year calling it. You know, I actually saw this show on YouTube. What's it called? I think it's called the Raiders Report. That also said that Divine Diablo is going to be a breakout player. That's crazy. If you haven't seen it, OG, it's youtube.com/Raiders Report. The guy can be a little bit of a douche sometimes that hosts it, but overall, pretty solid content, and I think that's where I saw it first, though. But hey, what do I know? What up, Raiderzilla? We should go get Terry McLaurin. You know, every NFL team, including the Commanders, should go get Terry McLaurin right now. I get it. He's an extremely talented player. I've always been a big fan of McLaurin, and I feel like ever since I talked about Chris Olave during the draft, one of my comps to Chris Olave was McLaurin. He's a good route runner. He gets open. I think he's one of the most underutilized wide receivers in the NFL because he's been stuck on the Commanders. The issue is this. I get he's not showing up to minicamp. There's no way that Washington is going to be dumb enough to not pay that man, and if they are, not that the Raiders couldn't use McLaurin, obviously they could, but there would be other teams that need a wide receiver a lot more than what the Raiders do that I believe would be willing to give up more than what the Raiders would be willing to give up, unless they throw just a big old fat payday at McLaurin, because I think he gets close to Stephon Diggs type of money at $24 million per year. All right, y'all, if you want even more exclusive Raiders content from me, become a supporter over on Locals. I'm making videos every single week. I'm interacting with the audience more. We go live at least once a week, 2 extra exclusive videos. We have fun polls over there. I tell you all to submit your questions for mailbags like you're watching right now. And if you want to watch other types of videos, not necessarily like my Hankins burger eating competition, but if you want to see a Raiders are interested in signing a defensive player, hey, then go check it out, because in this video at RaidersReport.locals.com, I break down a whole bunch of DTs that I was told the Raiders are keeping their eyes on. If you want to watch another video, I rank the top 10 players on the Raiders roster right now. And remember, if you ain't first, you're last. So make sure you're first to go on over to Locals, scan this QR code, become a supporter. You can become a member for free. Supporters, so when you get like the extra exclusive stuff, it's $10 for the month, $100 for the year. Easier way to get in contact with me as well. And if you like the Raiders Report, believe it or not, going over on Locals helps me continue to do what I love to do. Let's go to Raider Man 01, Leonard Williams from the G-Men. Go get him. Leonard Williams is another name that has been a frequent Raiders Report because USC, California, Raiders fan. Again, just like I answered the Terry McLaurin question, Leonard Williams, I don't think he's going anywhere, and I understand that Dave Gettleman's not the guy in charge anymore for the Giants, but the Giants are trying to win right now. Brian Dable in his first year is trying to win right now, and if he got rid of Leonard Williams, that would not be trying to win right now. What up, Bradley Hicks? What's up with Suh? Suh's being patient. He's weighing out all of his options, and I know the Raiders, they're going to do their homework as well. Are the Raiders interested in Ndamukong Suh? Yes, 4 just win, babies. Believe it, baby. However, they want to see the extent of how healthy Jonathan Hankins, what the injury extent is for somebody like Bilal Nichols. They also want to see how their younger players are, but I've been told the Raiders are doing their homework right now on defensive tackles, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was this week or next week you see a deal get done. But also, I'm going to bet right now the Raiders sign at least 1, potentially 2 defensive tackles or defensive linemen before training camp starts, which is going to be, I don't know, somewhere around mid-July. What up, A. Thomas? Will Chris Jones make the final roster? So the Raiders signed cornerback Chris Jones. He played for the Tennessee Titans last season. He had 7 tackles. His best year probably came in 2019. He's a depth player at best. How about this? Before I give my answer, and if you didn't know that the Raiders signed Chris Jones on Monday, it's another reason that you have to subscribe to the Raiders Report. That way you don't miss all the news and news, rumors, information, because I also put in that video Bilal Nichols injury news. I also talked about the latest going on around Ndamukong Suh. So I had a few questions already, which you could have already answered yourself. So why for yes and for no, will Chris Jones make the 53-man roster? I'm going to say no. All right, what up, King Ghost? $20 super chat. Oh, man, we also crossed 200, which means I still owe you guys 2 more shots. Keep tally at home. I owe you guys 2 more shots of Fireball. What up, man? Real quick. When do you expect or guess the Raiders sign a free agent? Also, Raiders! I would say that you're going to see the Raiders sign another big-name free agent, I'll say in the next 2 weeks. I don't know exactly who it's going to be. I've been told defensive tackle, linebacker right now is the major area of concern for the Raiders and where they're trying to go forward. So I'm going to say a week or 2, but it will happen before July 15th, which is franchise tag deadline, because few other contracts are going to get done, and then it's going to be Darren Waller extension, it's going to be a Denzel Perryman extension, and then you're going to see the Raiders sign a few big names. What up, Daniel? Okay, Mitchell. A little worried about defensive end. If one of our boys get hurt, don't trust Ferrell, Kuntz, Green, Bauer. Who do you trust? You know, not that I trust these guys too much, but you're also forgetting about Kyler Fackrell, who can be an outside linebacker. Also, Kendall Vickers. I don't know if he makes the 53-man roster, but could be a practice squad guy that gets called up. But for what you're saying right here, we obviously have Chandler. You have Max Crosby. You have some good players there. Tayshaun Bauer actually went to the Von Miller Pass Rush Summit, so he's trying to get a little bit better as a defensive end. But you're right. We need more depth. We need more talent. There's some defensive ends out there that I would like for the Raiders to get their hands on. A name specifically is Trey Flowers, so please, Daniel, keep him in mind. What up, Patrick? Not sure if you can tell, but my picture is my 2 old English Bulldogs in their Raiders jerseys. Mitch, what is the sleeper Raiders jersey to get this year? Well, it's funny, Patrick, I know your picture here is the exact same picture it is on Instagram, and I can actually see the picture a little bit better on IG. But yes, I did know that. In terms of a sleeper jersey to get this year, I'm going to go with Divine Diablo is a jersey that I think a lot of people are going to get by the end of the season. In fact, I'm going to have some Raider interviews coming out either this week or, it's probably going to be this week. And a common name that got brought up to me this weekend in terms of who's going to be a sleeper from Andre James, from Jonathan Hankins, was Divine Diablo. Also, Jayon Brown. But I'm going to say Divine Diablo, it's a cool name. He's got a cool number, up-and-coming player. That's the route I'm going to go. Now, y'all, we get a lot of questions here on the Raiders Report, and always remember, I'm doing my best to see what you guys have to say. I check my DMs when I can. I answer my DMs when I can. But to make sure that you, and I'm more worried about you, never miss any Raiders news, rumors, stories, things that I'm doing. If you want daily updates around my dog Chuck, hit me up IG, Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to one of my OGs. What up, Lewis? Do you think we should go and get Daryl Williams for the right price? Yes. If Daryl Williams doesn't want over $10 million, that's the right price in my book. However, it does sound like Alex Leatherwood or Brandon Parker are going to be the 2 options at right tackle for the Raiders this season. We got the Noti Gang King, Untouchable Raider 1960. Mitch, I remember you said if somebody donated $1,000, you would shave your hair off. And who would you rather keep, Amik or LeBlanc? I don't see Amik making the roster. Well, I can tell you one thing. $1,000, I wouldn't shave my head. That's already a guarantee. I don't know what the money would have to be for me to shave my head. I like my hair, believe it or not. The only way I would take a donation if it was during March, because obviously I've had a lot of family impacted by cancer. If we did something for like St. Baldrick's or something like that, but I'm not shaving my head. In terms of Amik or LeBlanc, Amik Robertson has looked pretty good. There's been reports out there from some of the Raiders coaches that they've been impressed by his versatility. I was also told by a Raiders player over the weekend that Amik's going to make the 53-man roster. All right, Raider Nation, what is the team's biggest need as it stands right now? If you want to shout out here on the Raiders Report, type RT, OG, LB, DT, CB, or another position in the comments. I also owe you guys 2 shots of Fireball. So shout out to the MVPs of today's show, Patrick B., and shout out to Michael, who have been sending in some 20s and 50s. Shout out to King Ghost, Daniel Keenan, as always. I owe you one more. Hang on. And if we get to 300, that's another 2. Or if I get a 50 at this point. So, Lucy, what up, Lucy? I see your super chat. We can get to that super chat during the... Oh, wow, I saw what she asked. You know what? How about this? Show the question from Lucy, and then we can show the photo, and people can go check it out if they want. Hang on. All right, y'all. I'm all caught up. Seeing a lot of DTs from Juan Hernandez, B. Rabe, Lil Ron. We got linebacker from Dick So Solid Dixon. Right tackle and DT from Matt Solomon. What up, Matt? You've been an OG for a while. James Fullerton, RT. Raider Nation Trish, RT. Cornerback from Raji. Lucky King says, who won the eating contest between you and Big Hank? Well, luckily for you, Lucky, you can do it after the live show. You can go check out the video, which I released early this morning. And this is what the thumbnail looks like. It is simple. It's effective. Go check it out on the Raiders Report. Find out who wins between me and Jonathan Hankins trying to take down Barcode Burger's big frickin' burger challenge. It was 10 minutes. All I want you guys to know is I tried my hardest, all right? I gave it my all. Anything I do, I try to give it my all. Jonathan Hankins is a big boy. You know who's even bigger? Colt Miller. That's the biggest dude I feel like I've ever met in my entire life. So, y'all, we are live here on YouTube, but we're going to be doing an exclusive video over on Rumble, and it's going to be Raiders Report After Hours. The 2 reasons why you should go give us a follow on Rumble right now. The first reason, and the most important reason, because I'm going to be doing a video, 5 free agents that I believe the Raiders could go out and target right now that have a potential to start for the team. And the final reason, if we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I'm going to shave my beard and rock a mustache. As soon as we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I got to rock a mustache for the rest of the month of June. I have a wedding, and I have to go meet some of my friends and some of my family members in the end of June. So it's not going to be pretty. So if you want to make that happen, follow us on Rumble at rumble.com/Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here, we're going to be looking at the latest news and rumors going on around the silver and black. We're going to be talking about Denzel Perryman, Darren Waller. Who's going to be the first one out of those guys to get a contract extension? What about Clelin Ferrell? He's been linked again into more trade rumors. And then at the end of the show, Lester Cotton, he's going to be a starting player for the Raiders. I'll tell you all that coming up here on the show. The first story, Denzel Perryman. Is this guy getting a contract extension? I'll tell you what, there's not many people where if I saw him in a dark alley, I would run the completely other way. And Denzel Perryman is one of those dudes. So is he getting a contract extension? Hell yeah, man. 4 just win, babies. Believe it, baby. This one is from Jeremy Fowler, who's reporting that the Raiders are discussing a contract extension with one of their best interior linebackers on the team, the run stopper. The biggest concern I had this offseason around Denzel was how is he going to adapt in Patrick Graham's defense? Because a lot of the early stories out there were Perriman struggles in coverage, which he did last season, and in Graham's defense, you need to be able to be a coverage linebacker, which I was worried about. Sounds like he's doing pretty okay, man. It sounds like he continues to rock that beanie, whether it's 110 degrees outside, he's having a good time. But I was also told that but him and Max Crosby are the two leaders. That you could see Perriman wear the green dot on the back of his helmet, which means he's going to be the quarterback. He does have a $3.04 million cap hit this season. If the Raiders were to cut him, which not going to happen, you save the entire contract. What's interesting is this. The numbers when you look at Perriman, when you see 154 tackles, people are like, wow, he's going to get a big-time payday, which I would answer, well, maybe not, because tackles are good. I will also say sometimes tackles can be the most overrated statistic in all of football. And I'll get into some of the reasons behind that. But when you look at his PFF grades from last year, 61.9 overall, run defense grade of 68.0, a pass rushing grade of 77.8, the coverage grade of 57.0. Denzel did a lot of good things, and I want him to be a Raider for a long time. And you know what? I think when he puts on that jersey, when he puts on that helmet, he is everything that you're looking for in a Raiders linebacker, somebody who just wants to hit the crap out of you. So I want you to back up Denzel, and I know Raider Nation wants this guy to be on the team. So if you want Denzel Perryman to get that contract extension, I need you to like this video right now. Not only am I doing a June like challenge with the rest of my Chat Sports team, what's more important is that we show the players that deserve to be on this team that we want them around. So if you want Perriman to get that contract extension, like the video right now. So I'm obviously going to be liking the video. However, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go break the bank for Perriman. And the reason is the way I look at linebackers is very similar to the same way I look at running backs. And they are the positions on offense and defense that I think are the most easily replaceable. Not that Perriman's not a hell of a guy. He is. So I also think this. Perriman was the perfect linebacker in Gus Bradley's system. There was a reason Gus went out and traded for Perriman at the beginning of offseason. Every single year Perriman's had his best year, it's been in a Gus Bradley system. Bradley now is over with the Indianapolis Colts, and now you have Denzel. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to go to having a 48, 68 tackle year, but he's not going to have 154, not in Patrick Graham's system. Also the reason why he had so many tackles. When you don't blitz, especially with your linebackers, and you bring four front, you're relying on your linebackers to get more tackles, which is exactly what Denzel did. So if you were to ask me, okay, Mitch, if you don't think he's going to put up that type of money, but you want him to get an extension, what type of extension is he going to get? Glad you asked. I see him getting a 2-year worth $11 million, which is about $5.5 million on average, $5 million guaranteed. The reason I'm going to go with this route here, he's 30 years old. I believe the fact that the Raiders gave Hunter Renfrow a 2-year contract extension means that Perriman is more than likely also going to go this route. Also, when you look at some other contracts like Jordan Hicks is a good one to look at. They gave him 2 years, $10 million in total, which the fact that Perriman has 1 year left on his deal and his cap hit is about $3 million. That puts Perriman on the Raiders for the next 3 years at $14 million, which is an average of $4.6 million, which is $6.3 in guaranteed money. But you know what? I want to hear from all of y'all. Why for yes and for no? Will Perriman be the next Raiders player to get an extension? Because if Jeremy Fowler's talking about it, there's a lot of legitimacy there. And the fact that all the reports that are coming out that Perriman's picking up the defense, he's a leader, I do think it is only a matter of time before Perriman gets his contract extension, but that's not the question. Will Perriman be the next Raider to get his extension? I'm going to say no, and the reason I'm saying no is because there's another player out there that is actually more important to the Raiders, and his name is Darren Waller, and he's going to be the next guy that gets his extension. That one's for just win, babies. Believe it, baby. The Perriman extension talks, they're legit. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen until Waller gets his new deal. Yes, the Perriman talks have been happening for the last week from what I've been told. Well, the Waller extension talks have been happening for months at this point. I mean, we're talking 8, 9 months. Waller's the 17th highest paid tight end in the NFL, and there is a chance from what I'm told that he doesn't get a contract extension. It could just be a pay raise, but more than likely it is going to be an extension where he is the new highest paid tight end in the National Football League. I have him getting about $16 million a year, but $16 million a year, 3-year extension, you tack that on to his already 2 years, it's more than enough, and it's more than a fair deal for Darren Waller. As soon as Waller gets his deal, and as soon as Denzel Perryman gets his deal, y'all, I don't keep you hanging. You know you're going to get a video. Subscribe to the Raiders Report for more free videos around news and rumors. And usually, the only thing that people hate on me for, like, oh man, all you talk about is rumors, news, who we can target in this. Well, how about this? For all y'all haters out there, I got player interviews coming up. I have interviewed Jonathan Hankins, Andre James, Colton Miller, Kendall Vickers. I asked them a lot of questions, personal and Raiders related. They're going to be coming up on the Raiders Report, so hit that subscribe button and don't be afraid to tickle that notification bell. Let's go to the next story here. It's around Clelin Ferrell. And is a trade coming for him? I mean, how many trade stories at this point have we talked about with Cle? Is the trade coming? Call it in the air. It's two just win babies. People are talking. The fact that people are talking about it, this is the prime example of where there is smoke, there is fire. I don't know if the fire is going to ignite, but I do know this. This weekend, I talked to a few players, and they said, yes, they have also heard the Clelin Ferrell trade rumors. I can't tell you which players told me that, but Bleacher Report released an article saying that the NFL players who should be on the trade block in 2022, Ferrell was one of the 8 players that was listed, and I like when articles do this. The Cleveland Browns were mentioned as the team that made the most sense to go out and trade for Ferrell. The reasons? Well, here's what Bleacher Report had to say. Teams with playoff aspirations don't usually trade away pass rushing depth, but the Raiders should see what they can get for disappointing 2019 first-round pick Clelin Ferrell. Las Vegas declined the Clemson Products fifth-year option this offseason and may lose him for nothing next offseason anyway. As things stand, Ferrell will have an opportunity to revitalize his career in Patrick Graham's 3-4 scheme, but a change of scenery may be even better for the 25-year-old. The Cleveland Browns are a team that could provide it. Ferrell could serve as a nice reclamation project in Cleveland, while the Raiders could get some future draft capital out of the deal. His $10 million cap hit is noteworthy, but the Browns have more cap space than any team in the NFL right now. So when I hear all of that, I'm like, okay, I get that we've talked about a ton, and I mean a ton of Clelin Ferrell trade rumors, and they're all essentially the same. We know that it makes sense. We know that it could happen, but is it going to happen? I don't have a 100% answer on that. So what I figured I would do is this. I put together a Clelin Ferrell trade idea with the Cleveland Browns, right? And you're going to be able to see that in just a second. But first, seriously, y'all, please go give us a follow over on Locals right now. I need more followers over there. Why? Because I want them to continue to make more content over there. So join RaidersReport.locals.com. If you want exclusive videos from insider information, I put out this video yesterday. The Raiders are interested in signing this free agent defensive tackle. Is it Ndamukong Suh? Is it somebody else? Hey, there's only one way to find out. If you want to see where I rank the top 10 players on the Raiders, I put out 2 videos every week, plus I do an extra live video. So if you're a diehard Raider fan who just needs more content in his life or her life, scan this QR code or go to the link, RaidersReport.locals.com. So if the Raiders do trade away Clelin Ferrell, because this information is important in terms of what the Raiders, I think, would potentially have to give up if somebody trades for Ferrell. So if Ferrell is cut, the Raiders, they don't save anything. They eat $9.98 million, which is why the Raiders aren't going to cut Cle. If they get rid of him, you just trade him. And if the Raiders do trade him, you save $4.77 million, and you only have to eat $5.21 million. Yes, you still got to eat some dead money, but you know what? If I can save $4.77 and I can invest that into one of the top free agents out there, you know what? I would do it. And Bleacher Report was right in terms of if you don't trade him, you might not get anything for him. So my trade idea is this. And I talked to our Cleveland Browns Report host here, Matthew Peterson. I was like, all right, Petey, give me somebody on the Browns trade block. And he goes, Sio and Taki. I go, all right. So I studied Taki a little bit, watched some tape on him, good coverage linebacker. And him and Jayon Brown, they could battle it out for being a solid coverage linebacker. And I don't really think having a bad coverage LB and this NFL world that we live in is necessarily a bad thing. He's better than Micah Kaiser as far as I'm concerned. He's also better than Young. So you go out, you get somebody who's probably your 4th linebacker on your roster. That adds some versatility to me. So the Raiders received Taki and a 6th-round pick. The Browns received Clelin Ferrell and a 5th-round pick. If you're like, wait a minute, why are we giving up, an extra pick? It's because Cleveland's taking on the extra money from Cleveland. So who wins the trade, y'all? If you haven't, please take a screenshot of this, post it on Twitter, Post it on Instagram. Just make sure you tag Chat Sports. Make sure you tag me as well. That way I see it on my Instagram story. More than happy to share it. If you think the Raiders win this trade, type LV. If you're like, you know what, man, I don't like it, you can go and type CLE. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we got some shocking, and I'm talking like, I saw this out there and I was like, wow, this is going to get some people riled up. Shocking Raiders offensive line rumors. And the offensive line already is a very interesting topic because of how much it struggled last season. We know Colton Miller was going to be the left tackle. Besides that, there's a lot of shrug emojis going around. But what if I told you the offensive line is with a bunch of, well, I'd say no-name players right now? I will tell you the shocking Raiders offensive line rumors, but first, if you haven't seen, y'all, I took on Jonathan Hankins over the weekend in a burger eating contest at Barcode Burgers in Las Vegas. As you can see in the background, Samoa Raider was there, Jalen Richard, Andre James, heck, Colton Miller was talking a whole bunch of trash to me. If you want to see who won, go check out the video. It's on the channel right now. And one of my goals was trying to get to Hankins, who he's getting up there in age. He's 30 years old, and he's trying to plan for after football, which I respect a lot. He told me he wants to get to 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube. So just go support him like you support me. He helped us out here at the Raiders Report, and I'm going to go and help him out. So please, go subscribe to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/BigTimeHank. Let's get Big Time Hank to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. All right, let's talk about the offensive line now. Here's what Hondo Carpenter, who works for, I believe, Sports Illustrated, at least he writes for them, and he talked about his projected offensive line if the season were to be right now. He said Colt Miller, John Simpson, Andre James, Lester Cotton, and Brandon Parker. I went and tweeted this out, and the comments, believe it or not, Twitter, which is usually a place where nobody ever overreacts, people were overreacting. And I was like, well, I put in the tweet that it's based off if the season were to be right now. If the Raiders had to play a game right now, this is what Hondo was saying that the offensive line would be. So then, people, of course, don't read the tweet. All they see is Lester Cotton, right guard. Oh, my goodness. And now there's articles galore out there saying Lester's going to be a starting right guard for the Raiders this upcoming season. No, he's not. Tuck rule, tuck that. It's not going to happen. I will say this. I talked to some people, and they said that Lester so far looks really, really good. In fact, I was told that he was actually a mini camp winner, and that was from one of the Raiders offensive linemen who I saw this weekend. But the fact that Hondo put him as a starting right guard, it's because look at all the injuries right now out there for the Raiders, and the fact that he's been working at right guard. You know why he's been working at right guard? Because Alex Leatherwood, Brandon Parker are battling it out for right tackle. So I get it. Putting it out there, it's a ballsy thing for Hondo to do, but it's also the prime example of just read the article or read the tweet. Don't just look at the names and just be like, oh, no, that's not it. Cotton's played well, but he's not going to start at right guard, y'all. I promise. If he does, well then, hey, I'll rock a mustache anyway. Now, when you look at the offensive line depth chart, and this graphic, I love the graphics that we do, but it's so difficult to make a depth chart graphic right now for the Raiders because the biggest thing that they're doing is they are moving pieces all over the place. Like, they want players to be trying out at every position. The only player that I know for a fact that is going to be at his position is Colton Miller at left tackle. Besides that, anything's up for grabs. And you will hear that in a player interview coming out later on this week. So what are your thoughts? I'm saying Lester Cotton's not going to be the starting right guard. What do y'all think? Who's going to be the starting right guard? If I had to put my money on it, I would say it's either going to be Alex Leatherwood, it's either going to be Dylan Parham. Denzel Good, I believe, ends up winning the left guard spot, though it does sound like John Simpson looks pretty good right there now. But you guys let me know, who will start at right guard for the Raiders this season? All right, let's give some shout-outs here. We got 800 of y'all watching right now. Daniel Topchi, I see your super chat. What do we got? We got Cuff says Parham. Gabe says, hey, yo, Mitch, Ben Bailey, Parham. Who is going to be the starting right guard for the Raiders this upcoming season? We got Parham again coming in from Gabe Guerrero. Parham for Aaron. B-Rabe's going to go Parham. It sounds like Dylan Parham is going to be the right guard for the Raiders. If you don't know who that is, it is the guy that Las Vegas took out of Memphis in round 3, pick number 90 overall of this past year's draft. Bubba says Jermaine Illuminor, which I would reply with, he's definitely a sleeper to keep in mind. So, y'all, we are live here on YouTube, but if you want to watch my exclusive Rumble After Hours video, you have to give us a follow right now at rumble.com/Raiders Report. What is the video? 5 big-name free agents that I believe if the Raiders went out and signed, they could start on the team right now. And these are realistic names, so keep that in mind. Also, if we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I'm shaving the beard and rocking a porn stash. Or if you want, do you guys call it a handlebar or a Fu Manchu? I don't know. I'll rock either one. But we got to get to 2,000 followers over on Rumble. So go to rumble.com/Raiders Report and make sure you join us for our After Hours segment. Next up here on the Las Vegas Raiders Report, we got a mailbag, and it's going to be the final mailbag of our live show on YouTube. After the mailbag, live show ends on YouTube, we go over to Rumble. So if you just want to go to Rumble now, hey, honestly, I don't really blame you. So if you got a question, it's #Raiders, or, as always, you can super chat. I do not mind. With the super chat numbers that we are at as it stands right now, I got a burp. Hang on a second. We're at 225. Okay, new rule. We're going to finish off the Raiders Report strong here. We're going to finish it off strong. Every $25 we get equals a shot of Fireball. So if 5 people send in 5, that's a shot of Fireball. Every $25 we get, shot of Fireball. Y'all ready to rock and roll? One more mailbag, then we're going to Rumble After Hours. If you haven't already, sit down and buckle up. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and as always, use #Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions and comments on the show. If you can't join us for our live shows, remember, there is a new feature on YouTube. It's called Super Thanks, where you can send in a question, and every single time you guys send in a Super Thanks, I'll answer the questions for you. So I know that Mark Russmanin, did I get that? Rasmussen couldn't join us live, but he sent in the $10 Super Chat. Mark, thank you, my good man. Brandon Jasper, Mitch, bought a ticket to the Just One Project. Told them to give it to you so we could raffle off and donate it. Brandon, thank you. We raised over $1,000. Samuel, thanks, bro. Cheers to you. And then Ty Davis. At the press conference, McDaniels confirmed that everyone was at practice. What that was regarding was I talked about certain players that were injured in the past. So, Ty, thank you. But, yes, people who did not participate at practice, they were banged up. So always, y'all, join the family. That's what Raider Nation is about. We are a big family. Yes, there's going to be some arguing. Yes, there's going to be some celebration. But I love everyone that comes across this show and takes time out of their day to watch what we do. So hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. And I want you to take some pride in being one of the first people that comes across a Raiders Report video. What do I mean? I want you to join the Noti Gang. Comment Raiders, comment me, comment Noti Gang. I don't care what it is. Just try to be one of the very first people to comment on a video. So shout out to Raiderville 13, Raiders for Life, Tyler, Diego, and Jaime. I see you. I appreciate that you're part of the Noti Gang. And if you want to be on a future show, what do you got to do? Join it. All right, we got Ben Bailey. Where are we on the cap after all these re-signings? So technically, it hasn't been updated yet, which is kind of a shitty answer. I know before the Hunter Renfrow contract extension, the Raiders were at 22.5. The deal in terms of how much money Renfrow is getting has yet to be released as of Tuesday. Also, the contract details of Chris Jones, who was signed on Monday, that has also yet to be released. If I had to take a guess, I'm going to say we're somewhere around 16, 17 million in terms of cap space. Daniel Topchi, he wants the porn stash. If you guys want me to rock a porn stash for the month of June, we got to get to 2,000 followers on Rumble. That's the deal. That's where it's at. We got 200 more to go to, so go to rumble.com/Raiders Report. Christopher McGuire, do you see tight end Foss Moreau having an increase in production under Josh McDaniels, whether catches or touchdowns? I do see an uptick in terms of being on the field. I will say this. Last season, Foss Moreau was on the field for 63% of the snaps. He was used as a decoy a lot, more as a blocker, which is okay. However, I do like Foster's athletic ability. And when you run a 2 tight end set, which the Raiders are going to run a lot of, Foster's going to get one-on-one opportunities. He might not get to 500 receiving yards. My initial projections for Foster are somewhere around 400 receiving yards. I'm hoping he can get to 4 or 5 touchdowns. And if he can bring in 30 catches, That's a pretty good year for him. The only way he gets more than that, I would say, if certain players get hurt. But when you look at all of his numbers, the numbers will go up. His opportunities will go up. But he also needs to be able to prove that not only can he catch the football, he needs to be able to block efficiently as well. Ruin your stocking. Could the Raiders cut Clelin Cole? You like John Brown, and they cut him. You're right. I did like John Brown last offseason. They did decide to move on from him. But the reason why they moved on from him is because they were a lot higher on some other wide receivers, especially Zay Jones. So John Brown was like, wait a minute. If I'm not going to be playing over Zay Jones, I don't want to be on this team. So it was a reason of he didn't beat out Zay. He was unhappy about the situation. He didn't make a team, and then he struggled to make teams the entire year. So was I wrong on that one? Yes, I was. I'd be shocked, though, if they move on from Clelin Cole. At least I hope not. But when I do videos, one of the videos that I do every single year is I do surprise cut candidates, which is essentially when that guy gets cut, everyone was like, shit, that's a big surprise. It's literally in the title. And if Clelin Cole were to get the axe or get the snip, not like our COO Brett Scott, a different kind of snip, then it would be a surprise cut. So what I want you guys to do is name a surprise cut candidate for the Raiders. Your boy Felix, we should trade for Robbie Anderson, late round pick. He doesn't want to be in Carolina. There's been a lot of rumors around Robbie Anderson not wanting to be in Carolina. I've seen him, though. I just saw him post a picture 2 days ago, how excited he was to get these new Panthers uniforms. He doesn't want to be there because Sam Darnold stinks. There's not a real good quarterback situation going on right there. And he's put up some good numbers in years past. The issue is this. Robbie Anderson also has, I'll say, a cloudy past. And he makes me a little bit nervous if I'm being 100% honest with you. And in terms of being a locker room fit, I don't think Robbie would be a good locker room fit. And at best, he would be our fourth option because he's more talented than Marcus Robinson. But at that point, do I really want to bring somebody like him in? If I can get him for a fifth or a sixth, sure. I just feel like Carolina would want a little bit more. What up, B-Ray? Would Larry O be an option for the Raiders? Yes, he would. What Larry's got to prove, though, is that he's in shape because he signed with what? It was the Bears, then they ended up getting cut because he wasn't in shape. He's a good defensive tackle. He is one of the players that I've mentioned before on the Raiders report. However, it should be Ndamukong Suh should be plan A. From what I've been told, Eddie Goldman is on the Raiders roster as well. There's a few other DTs to at least keep in mind, but yes, Larry O is at least a potential chance. So y'all, we are doing videos over on Rumble. We go live on Rumble. Hell, I'm live on Rumble right now, and if you want exclusive videos over there, well, I can do and say whatever the hell I want. Go to rumble.com/Raiders Report, and if you're watching this live, we're going to make an exclusive video over there. My goal when I started today's show was I wanted to get to 2,000 followers on Rumble. We need 150 more. If we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I'm shaving the beard and I'm rocking a mustache for the rest of the month of June. So if we do it today, I got to rock a mustache for 2 weeks. That's embarrassing for me because I have a wedding this weekend and I got to meet some friends and family in late June. So if we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, beard comes off, rocking the porn stash. I might even rock a Fu Manchu for all y'all. It's rumble.com/Raiders Report. Let's go to Jersey Balboa. What would a defensive tackle that you could see the Raiders trading for? So I already mentioned Daron Payne, and I hate to mention him again, but to me, he's the top defensive tackle that I would say doesn't want to be in his current situation, wants out, and would be a good fit with our team. So for that, I'll say Daron Payne. LI Raider 312, what about trying to get Barkley to out of the backfield, injury prone, but can be productive in the passing and running game? I love Saquon Barkley. Barkley was one of my favorite running back prospects that I have ever seen when he first came out of Penn State. If you want to talk about an athlete, I honestly look at Barkley from an athletic standpoint and say he is the most athletic running back in the NFL right now. But you're right, there's injury concerns, and if you bring him in, you got to pay him $7.2 million. Not that he wouldn't be a good addition, but I'm not going to spend $7.2 on Saquon. And I know a lot of Giants fans, they want like a second or a third round pick for him. I'm not giving up a second or a third round pick for Saquon Barkley. Like the player, it's not going to happen though. What up, Ramos? I heard the Raiders could go with RBBC this season. How does that impact Jacobs? it impacts Jacobs in terms of fantasy football and overall stats, because if they do decide to go to an RBBC, which really shouldn't surprise anyone, it's what we've been talking about for months when the Raiders hired Josh McDaniels. It's what the New England way was always. They brought in a lot of running backs, and they did. They went with a running back by committee. That's what that stands for those of you that don't know. So if you were planning on drafting Jacobs in fantasy, you might want to not take him as high. But I also think from a football standpoint, it's a good thing. It keeps Josh happy. It keeps Josh healthy. And if Josh is healthy at the end of the season, because he looked pretty damn good last season near the end, if he's healthy in December, January, playoffs, that's more important, and that's what a running back by committee does. It also means, though, you're not going to pay anybody big money. So how about this? Josh Jacobs, 2022, how many rushing yards for the Raiders star running back? Just because you're in a committee doesn't mean that you're not the number one guy. Josh will be the RB1. He will lead the team in touches. He will lead the team in carries. He will lead the team in rushing yards if he's 100% healthy. In terms of overall production, though, it does go down because Kenyon Drake gets the ball a little bit more. Zamir White's going to get the ball more. Brandon Bolden's going to get the ball more. So let me know, how many rushing yards for Josh Jacobs this season? Christopher McGuire, what up, my dude? Will Roderick Teamer make the 53-man roster? I know he is suspended at the beginning of the season, correct. However, I think he is a valuable special teams player. Yes, he is. He's suspended, I believe it's the first game of the season. And the reason why I want you to keep this in mind is suspended players don't count against the 53-man roster. So even if you're going to look at the 53-man roster projection videos that I put out in a week, 2 weeks, whenever I do, Roderick's not going to be on that list because of that suspension. So, with that being said, he's a versatile player. I know the Raiders like him, and you have to remember, he was a free agent this season. The Raiders decided to bring him back. All right, what up, Raji? I really think that this is our time, and I'm watching the Chiefs falling apart. I will say this is a good team from top to bottom, but the Raiders are still probably the biggest underdog in this division. I mean, everyone's saying that the Broncos are better, the Chargers are better, the Chiefs are better. Are the Chiefs falling apart? I don't know if they're falling apart. I do know losing Tyreek Hill is going to hurt, but for this team, worry about yourself, take care of business, and go forward. What up, Fred? What is going on with Clelin? Will he get traded, or will he help the team this season? Well, I do know this. Yes, you're seeing a position change, which maybe isn't actually best suited for Clelin being an outside linebacker, because I don't think he's athletic enough to be a true pass rusher in the NFL, but he's also not big enough to be a defensive end or defensive tackle. Is he going to get traded? There's a chance. If there was a team out there willing to give the Raiders a 5th-round pick and take on his contract, the Raiders would do it. Like I'm telling you right now, Raiders would do it. The issue is not many teams want to pay Clelin Ferrell that type of money. So that's something to at least keep in mind. So just, keep that one in mind. Let's go to Josiah. I've been watching you since I was 11 years old, which is 2018. Now I'm 14, turning 15 this summer. Keep up the good work, Mitch. I mean, that's really awesome. Right? The fact that your parents allow you to watch me, first off, shout out to them. But the fact that you've been watching the show for that long, I really appreciate it. So how about this? You've been watching it since 2011. When did you go to your first Raiders game? Not just you, Josiah, but everyone watching right now. When did you go to your first Raiders game? I always tell people my first Raiders game, Monday Night Football, 2019, Raiders-Broncos. Unbelievable experience. Las Vegas did come away with a win that day. It was an Oakland tailgate. I mean, you can't even put it to words. It was probably one of the best parties I've ever been to. I saw Daniel said 1998. Let me know, when did you go to your first Raiders game? All right, what up, Jad, Florentine, Mitch? What is the plan for Abram? Can we do a package deal for him and Clee for anything? Could you do a package deal? Sure, but again, this is the issue with trades. You don't want these players. What makes you think other teams want these guys? I will say also that Cleveland and Jonathan have had a tough go at it in terms of 2019, Paul Gunther, terrible defensive coordinator. 2020, COVID happens. 2021, new defensive coordinator. Now again, you get another new defensive coordinator. From what I know, the Raiders want to try to make Jonathan Abram work. He's going to be a box safety. They're going to put him up near the line of scrimmage. They're going to put him in run situations. But also for New England coaches in the past, special teams means a lot. Abram, you're going to see him play on special teams more than what you've seen in years past. So I anticipate Abram. I anticipate Clelin Ferrell both being on the Raiders roster. But if you're able to trade them, you're telling me right now, if I get a 4th-round pick for Abram and Clee, just a fourth, I would make that trade. What up, Anthony Parks? I was wondering about Ruggs' contract. Don't we get some money? Yes, you're going to get money, but just like Ruggs, just like Damon, there's going to be a lot of different situations that play on. Like, you got to let the legal system do its part, and then once the legal situation happens, then the Raiders will probably get their money. So you're not going to get any money this year. I am anticipating the Raiders see their money in next offseason. What about Punchy33, signed Star Latule? So Star was another player that I actually mentioned on my Raiders Report video on Monday. I actually also talked about him in depth a little bit more over on Local. So yes, Star is a player, good defensive tackle, getting up there in age, but with some of the injury concerns at Las Vegas and the lack of depth at defensive tackle, Star, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Eddie Goldman, all players to keep in mind. This is the offseason. A lot of shit always goes down. So to make sure you never miss anything, you can always subscribe to the Raiders Report. And then to make sure you really never miss anything, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. I'll be tweeting out my ideas. I post Instagram stories of the latest news, not just going on around the Raiders, but also the NFL. Plus, if you want to see what happens in my daily life, it's a good way to keep tabs on me. Geno Atkins, interesting name being brought up here by Aaron. So it's funny, I talked about Geno Atkins in lengths last offseason and many seasons because of the Paul Gunther connection. I don't know what the latest going on around Geno is. I know he played technically in 8 games last season, had 1 tackle, barely even got on the field. I haven't heard a lot about Geno. I'm going to do some homework on him, though, because this is an interesting name to keep in mind. In terms of defensive tackles, why take a chance on Geno Atkins at his age when you can take a chance on Ndamukong Suh? Be the way I'd say it. What up, Jed Rowley? Speaking of Ndamukong Suh, what will it take to get Suh? For whatever reason, there is a common narrative on Twitter, and I don't know who started that people think that Suh's going to be $15 million a year. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if some other Raiders guy said it on a podcast or YouTube. And Ndamukong Suh is not getting $15 million a year. If he wants a contract that has 15 in it, it's going to be a 2-year deal. I see Ndamukong getting $7 million or 5.5 worth up to $7 million would be how I would project Suh's contract. And if he wants more than that, then no, I'm not going to bring him in. At this point, he shouldn't be looking at money. He should be looking at getting a Super Bowl ring. And if he believes the Raiders can help him do that, then that's where he should sign with the Raiders. All right, y'all, get daily Raiders videos and weekly live shows every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Subscribe to the #1 most watched Raiders show on YouTube. It's right here. You're watching it. The Raiders Report. Now, I will say this. It's been a fun show. Shout out to Lucky King, Patrick B., Daniel Topchi. Shout out to King Ghost. Much love to Michael as well. We did a lot more than I thought I would in Super Chats today, and definitely drank more Fireball than I thought I would. It's going to be an interesting jog later, but you know what? Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We are getting ready now to wrap up this live show on YouTube, and we are going to head on over to Rumble. So it's going to be a Rumble after-hours show. So this is going to be your last chance to go to rumble.com/Raiders Report. It's going to be your last chance to give us a follow over there, and you can watch the show, which is going to be 5 starting caliber free agents that I believe that the Raiders could sign. So for you watching live, click the link right now in the live chat. You'll hop on over there because what I'm about to do is give some shout-outs to the people over on Rumble. So live video here on YouTube is going to be ending in 3, 2, 1.